So I get this comment the other day. I'll shoot your kid in the stomach with a small caliber hunting rifle, then pick you off as you try to get to the kid. And then I will use that meat to live much longer than you managed. Oh, yeah, this dude maxed out the bat crap crazy meter. Hi, folks. Howard here for VP Prepping and Survival. And as I said, I got a comment the other day. This was a comment on a video I got. We've all gotten comments on our videos. Anybody who's a prepper has heard from somebody in person or has had a comment on a video or an article that they've written that somebody is going to just kill preppers and take their stuff come SHTF. Well, I get those all the time, by the way. But I got this particular comment, and this dude raised my eyebrows because he shows a level of commitment to bat crap crazy that few people can achieve in their lifetime, quite frankly. So basically, you're a homesteader. No, I'm not. Okay, wake up call for folks like you. People like me will not be farming. We will be killing. Okay, killing people. Human beings are not a renewable resource, so eventually you're going to run out. It's a finite source there, stupid. Farming is a renewable resource. It's a much better option, just saying. While you and your house are struggling to split up resources with a dozen people making noise and giving away your position, you will fall easily. Problem with most preppers is that you people seem to think you can have children, drag your children around and play like it's a camping trip. I don't know anybody, by the way, who thinks that bugging out, which is a terrible scenario, in the scenario the things that are going on around that is fun, and we're going to bug out and take our kids like a camping trip. You're an idiot. I'll shoot your kid in the stomach with a small caliber hunting rifle, then pick you all off as you try to get to the kid, and then I will use all that meat to live much longer than you managed. The only reason most of you are alive right now is because we have police and military preventing people like me from running around and doing whatever we feel like. Think about that. Well, you know what? I did think about it, and you're an idiot. Flat out, you are an idiot. You're not alone. There's a whole bunch of idiots, but you're taking idiot to a shockingly high level. You're at the doctorate level of idiot compared to the entry level halfwits that usually comment on my stuff. First off, you have made a conscious choice not to do anything to prepare now, and then you're going to shoot children in the stomach with a small caliber rifle and pick people off. That shows a level of moral bankruptcy and general scumbaggery that you don't see, quite frankly, very often in this country or in this day and age. You, congratulations on the first point, are a complete soulless scumbag. Congratulations. My second point is that you and people like you who seem to think that homesteaders and preppers, whatever you want to call us, are sitting around totally defenseless with no strategy, no safeguards in place, no protocols, and no plan to deal with people coming to take our stuff. I don't think you fully understand or understand at all what a prepper is. We are preparing, and it doesn't just mean putting up food and water. It means preparing for other eventualities, one of which is the inevitable onslaught of looters and marauders in an SHTF event. We have plans for people like you. And you know what? I know that clearly, if I read this guy's comments, he's so full of crap. In his string of comments on here, he claimed he was a multi-millionaire and a best-selling author and all this other nonsense. This dude is a kid living in his mom's basement, and he is a full-on idiot. But the idea that this guy, even if he was everything he claimed to be, is the only scumbags are trained and skilled and have strategy. That people who have made a conscious decision to prepare so that they don't have to go out and kill people to eat are somehow just going to be willing victims and totally defenseless against this guy and people like him. That is such a nonsensical idea. I know that there are groups, militia groups, literally militia groups that are forming, that this is your plan come SHTF. You're going to kill and steal. You are not a militia group. You are an outlaw group, and you are going to not meet a good end come SHTF, because there are far more good militia groups, far more militia groups that are going to be maintaining and defending and trying to restore some sense of order, and those who are not in a militia. I have a prepper group. I'm not in a militia, but I have a prepper group, and we have people, bodies, skilled shooters, people who have been in the military, people safeguards and protocols that are in place to deal with people like you. And we are not going to wait around and be caught unawares that there's going to be a person or people lurking around trying to take what we have. We already have plans and safeguards in place for that. You live in a fantasy land if you think that the only thing keeping us safe from you is the military and the police so that you can't run around and do what you want. There's already people running around and doing exactly what you want to do. If it weren't for the police taking these people and putting them in jail or in prison, if it weren't for the military, fighting against these people, the citizenry in this country would do what they did in the wild, wild West. They would take matters into their own hands, because you are talking about, this guy claims, by the way, to have seen in other countries, this, oh, people are defenseless and people just came in and took their stuff. What you saw in other countries, if you really saw it, is absolutely irrelevant to this country, because this country has a level of gun ownership and a skill level with that said firearms that no other country can match. And if you think that you're just going to roll up on groups of people come SHTF in this country and take their stuff, you're a freaking moron. You really are, because you have no concept whatsoever or no understanding of the amount of firearms in this nation, and that they are not even most of them, sitting in the hands of people who think like you think. You're going to run into a buzzsaw, pal, and it's not going to work out. So I would urge this gentleman, and I use that term loosely, and anybody else that thinks like him, to take a minute to reconsider, to choose a different path. You have time and you have resources. Everything's available to you right now to take steps to be prepared so that you don't have to have this as your plan come SHTF, because it is not going to end well for you. You may get a prepper group, you may get a prepper, you may get a homesteader, you may get a group of them, but eventually you're going to get gut shot in the middle of nowhere and left for dead, writhing in agony, or you're going to end up on a pike in front of somebody's compound as a message to other looters and marauders. Eventually, come SHTF, one or two things is going to happen. Either there's going to be enough bodies piled up in front of the compounds that looters and marauders are going to get the message and they're just going to stop coming around and trying to loot and maraud, or there's just not going to be any more looters and marauders, because they're all going to be piled up around pikes or hanging from a tree somewhere. It's a bad choice, and it's not going to end well for you. So I urge you, if you think like this, think again, choose a different path, be smart, and don't be morally bankrupt, because it's not an excuse. It's not going to help you. It's not anything. It's going to get you killed. And you're going to deserve it, quite frankly, if that's your go-to plan come SHTF. Thank you very much for watching. As always, I'm Howard for VP Prepping and Survival. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, Tumblr, and of course right here on YouTube if you want to check out my channel. Remember, folks, in any survival situation, you don't just want to survive, you want to thrive. Happy shooting, everybody.